What's up, good people? Jeff C here. Hope you're having a nice week despite all the shenanigans of the massive scamdemic. I'm going live tonight with my good buddy KJ Osborne. That's going to be on The Scariest Movie Ever. I'll post a link right in the description below. The show's going to start around 8 p.m. Eastern. These are always awesome shows. Me and KJ go way, way back sort of thing. And we just have such a great time discussing all of this. I think they're very important shows. So I hope you can all come and join us there. And I just wanted to touch up the latest dealing with Melbourne. Everyone needs to pay very close attention to what's happening in Melbourne. Obviously, it's not the only, everywhere around the world we should be looking. But Melbourne, for whatever reason, is many steps ahead. And you're seeing how this is all unfolding. Now, one of my Australian listeners sent me this. Here, coronavirus, Victoria facing years of mandatory mask and restrictions. Now, Victoria is not the only place that's facing years of mandatory masks. They're telling us over and over again that masks are here to stay. And then they're trying to get us to buy into it, and they're trying to make it a fashion accessory, and they're trying to... I don't even know how incredibly evil this is. And it's just so awful. And, of course, the people that are the most affected by this are the people at the extremes of the age, whether they're really young or they're really old, because really old people need all that oxygen they need to dispel their toxins right into the air. They don't want to be breathing in their germs and stuff. Young kids, it's just pure evil. Right? What kind of a world do we live in where it's like, you know what, we're gonna make everyone muzzled because some people might die, might die. Just think about that for a second. So, and they're antagonizing all the masktards into going and being instruments of destruction or instruments of chaos, if you will, to go and badger or physically or verbally attack people that don't comply with this NWO. And it's creating all this tension and all this, lots of fisticuffs and whatnot. And it's very evil what's going on. And the world needs to stand up to this. So we'll take a quick look into this video or this article here. Victoria's endgame with COVID no longer includes eliminating the virus, but permanent change to daily life for years. And when they say permanent change to daily life for years, they might as well say permanent change to daily life for decades, or permanent change to daily life forever. The new reality, the new normal. If these psychopaths get their way, you're not going to be able to do anything without your quantum dot, Bill Gates tattoos, and all your latest vaccines, and your COVID pass, and your face mask, and your bubble boy sort of setup. It's so evil. And they got this video here playing, and they're saying here, mandatory mask wearing across Victoria when outside, stage 4. Whoops, I'll go back there for a second. Right, lockdown restrictions. So mandatory mask wearing across Victoria when outside. Stage 4 restrictions for Melbourne. Citywide curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. every evening. 1 hour of exercise per day within 5-kilometer radius of the home. They won't let you go. Residents may only leave the house for essential shopping, care, exercise, and work if it can't be done from home. This is totalitarianism. It's pure evil. It is beyond unconstitutional. It's totalitarianism. This is pure evil. And there's no guarantee that once they usurp this power, or they take this power, that they're ever going to relinquish it. In fact, it's more likely that they're never going to relinquish it, because they're going to be like, why would we allow these people to live free and, enjoy life again? We're going to just make it more and more and more. The effect that this has on people psychologically, physically, the amount of people that will actually die from wearing masks, including children, by the way. Several children have died around the world because they've been forced to wear masks, jogging around in gym class and stuff like that. Right? But the psychological impact and the health impact on people, breathing in your own toxic fumes, which you're supposed to expel those. And then, of course, you're supposed to challenge your immune system all the time to keep yourself healthy, because those that don't have an active immune system are the most likely to get sick, right? So if your immune system is robust and you're constantly, having to fight off whatever viruses and whatnot are in the air, bacteria and stuff like that, then you're in a much better shape. But of course, if you're constantly blocking anything else from coming into your system and you're spraying everything with chemicals and oh man, it's just so utterly evil what they're doing. So Victoria's endgame with COVID-19 no longer includes elimination of mandatory mask wearing, is likely to remain a permanent feature of daily life for years until a vaccine is found for the killer virus. In a disturbing new evidence of the state's inquiry into the coronavirus second wave outbreak in Victoria, the psychopathic premier, Dan Andrews, has warned it's a feature of outbreaks around the world that the second phase of infections is often more deadly than the first. And then they'll say the third is even worse, and therefore we're going to have to stick you all in bubbles. And you won't be allowed to lose. I showed this on my, I think it was Monday Madness, I showed this, and how there is a stage 5. In stage 5, you won't even be allowed to leave your home. They'll say in stage 5 for Melbourne, and all my good friends down under need to understand this. Stage 5 for Melbourne, you're only allowed to leave your home once a week. And that's only for essential services, which means, you have to ask permission for the government to go to the grocery store or even get a doctor's appointment. And they won't even allow you in stage 5 to go outside for exercise. In stage 4, they're already saying you can't go more than 5 kilometers. And you see what they're doing. They're grabbing people by the throat, the Gestapo there, who all need to be diplomatic, Jeff. Right? I have to be diplomatic. I want to say things, but I gotta be diplomatic, right? But these psycho cops that are physically abusing people, this premier, Dan Andrews, and the Victorian police, you people, the entire world is watching. Nobody should ever forget what you people are up to. And everyone should be, watching as closely as possible every single piece of evidence or, testimony or video that emerges from Victoria of police brutality and mask enforcement and all this, because it's just unbelievable how Orwellian and how evil this stuff is. When asked about the endgame extreme restrictions, when asked what the endgame of the extreme restrictions were, the state's chief health officer, Brett Sutton, and look into this guy, leave no stone unturned, Aussies, right? Check out these people. It's the same here in Canada. There's a really crazy thing with the chief medical officer who's in charge of the whole COVID operation here in Canada, Theresa Tam, who's a Hong Kong resident, and apparently, according to Wikipedia, used to be a man. I don't know if I can 100% say that's... But her whole history is so concealed, and how did she manage to get this? And of course, she appeared in an NFB documentary, which I showed on my channel, in which 10 years ago she was saying if an outbreak happened in Montreal, they would shut down all exit points, they would impose a curfew, and they would use detention centers to hold people, and they would force vaccinate people, and only people, basically kind of what's happening in Melbourne right now. It's bad here too, but it's not Melbourne bad. So anyways, look at these people. Also confirmed it was suppression rather than elimination that could be a battle that lasts for years. He also signaled that the public mask wearing would have to remain as a baseline restriction for a long time. There may be a path that has a very, very low case numbers with kind of a baseline level of restriction. Universal mark wearing, I guess that's mask wearing, changed human behaviors very broadly applied across the population that can keep numbers low, Professor Sutton said. Nobody ever forget who these people are. Ever forget. Never forget what they've done to you, all of us. But I think it always comes with danger that it can reemerge and take off again. Professor Sutton conceded masks were imperfect, but that given the level of community transmission, it was a case of doing whatever they could do to bring cases down. Although imperfect, cloth masks worn broadly in the community, can have a significant effect. Yeah, they can just absolutely turn people into unsociable, paranoid, obsessive compulsive disorder freak shows, which you're seeing in any scumbag that yells at somebody for not wearing a mask. I hope you get the karma you deserve. Although it doesn't present a game changer, we are really looking at to have whatever interventions that we possibly could in Victoria, especially ones that were relatively low cost, low impost, compared to taking more significant measures. And there's Brett Sutton. Never forget who these people are. In terms of when masks would no longer be required, Professor Sutton said that would depend whether a vaccine can be found. I don't think it will be available in the next 6 months, but I do think that there's a very, very good chance that it will be available within the next 12 to 18 months. Mr. Andrews also suggested that the goal of elimination was not a real option, despite being raised as the only way to return to normal life. So, yeah, the only way we're going to return to normal life is if we have a vaccine. But a vaccine will never be the real solution because we can't always stop everything, and it's not a guarantee that if you have a vaccine that you won't get the sickness again, and you may need to get new vaccines, or those vaccines may cease to be prove effective, and, never-ending story. Mr. Andrews also suggested that the goal of the elimination was not a real option despite being raised as I said that before. The end point is to lower numbers and get numbers as low as possible so that we can have confidence that we can manage the inevitable outbreaks that will occur and the inevitable transmission that we will see. But again, if you open up now, there's no flattening the curve. There's no moderate outcome if it takes off like a bushfire and you've got no chance of putting out. This is the perfect scenario for these psychopaths to carry out their objectives. Oh, it can just come up at any time, and we can't allow you to go back to normal. We can't allow you to go back to work. We can't allow you to go to the grocery store. We can't allow you to go to the park or go on a trip or go to the cottage or do anything because we might just come up like a bushfire again. Speaking at a press conference shortly after his grilling at the inquiry, Premier said he could not guarantee that the current restrictions will work within a 6-week time frame. It's only the maximum chance of working in 6 weeks if everybody plays their part. Lockstep. That's why we're so grateful the vast majority of people are. Your point about increased compliance to more people at home, more people just doing the right thing, so less people doing the wrong thing, that's my sense of it. And this is the person that is directly responsible. This person here. Never forget this face for as long as you live, people. Never forget who these people are. Mr. Andrews told the inquiry there was no question that the impact of restrictions would scar the economy for years. Yeah, there you go. Just destroy the economy, destroy millions of jobs. Millions of jobs. Destroy people's dreams. Destroy people's savings. Destroy people's small businesses. For what? How many people have actually died in Victoria? Was it like under 200? And how do we know that any of that's legit? Unbelievable tyranny. I wouldn't for a moment suggest that this is the end. There will be a budget later on in the year acknowledging the damage that has been done. There will be that'll be a major feature of the budget, as well as the impacts not just on business but on workers, families, communities. We know that this is a 1 in 100 year event. Yeah, it was 100 years ago that you had your last one. Isn't that ironic? And the damage done because of it will be long-lasting and it will be very significant. That's why we have to stand with everybody who's been impacted and stand alongside them strongly and provide them all the support by locking them in their homes and taking away their ability to live their lives. That's how you're helping them. Mr. Andrews, please, God, grant these people the karma that they so richly deserve. Thank you. Amen. All right. Health Minister Jenny Mikakos told the parliamentary inquiry that there would have seen 20,000 additional cases of coronavirus a day if the state had not moved. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, where's your proof of that? Oh, you don't have any proof. Oh, it's okay. You're just pulling that right out of your rectum. The same modeling forecasts that without tougher restrictions, 8,000 Victorians would be hospitalized with COVID-19. Stage 3 restrictions in Melbourne and the introduction of mandatory masks slowed the growth in the case numbers, but we needed to do more to reduce their number. Why don't you just have your Gestapo go out and start grabbing people by the throat on the street corners of Melbourne? Stage 3 restrictions in Melbourne and the introduction... sorry, I read that. But it was also revealed that there is no clear modeling on what outcomes the Stage 4 restrictions alone will deliver, beyond that the existing ones were not working fast enough to get the infections under control. I'm not aware of the modeling that already incorporates Stage 4 restrictions. Well, you just go to Stage 5 and then Stage 6 and Stage 7 and just keep taking away everybody's lives. What we did see is an effect of what Stage 3 restrictions showed us in terms of the effective reproduction number. That demonstrated that it was driving transmissions down and that the numbers were expected to plateau. The addition of masks were modeled to a degree with respect to driving the transmissions down further. Now, mandatory mask all over the world. They're bringing this in, making it mandatory. I get all the Canadian stuff coming first here when I do a news search. Mandatory mask, and they're making it in schools, and they're making it everywhere. And then, of course, how about this one? Masks are here to stay. Look at all the articles here. Masks are here to stay. Washington Post. Masks are here to stay. Gulf News. Masks are here to stay. Tired of wearing a face mask in public? Nah, you're going to be wearing a face shield and a mask and goggles and gloves and probably a hazmat suit and a bubble. Masks are here to stay. Look at Bloomberg. Even if COVID goes away. These people are the biggest criminals in the world. What they're up to. It's out of this world, folks. Here's how to stay cool while wearing a mask in hot weather. You never wear a mask in hot weather. You gotta be a drooling F-tard to put on a mask in boiling hot weather. Why on earth would you put on a mask in boiling hot weather? South China Morning Post. Masks are here to stay. We just need to keep them out of our landfills because you know what? Those people that don't properly take care of their mask will kill the polar bears because it'll contribute to global warming. All right? Masks are here to stay, like it or not. No, we don't like it. Sorry, and no. You don't have a right to muzzle us forever. It's just out of this world. Anyways, I'm getting emotional. This is the craziest thing. So, again, a reminder, I'm going live. So maybe by the time you see this video, we might already be live. So definitely come over right away. I'll post a link directly in the description below. It's going to be a very lively discussion, probably a very lively, obviously a very lively chat as well. So I hope you guys can come over and partake and be kind to everyone. And yeah, you guys are the best. Much love to you. Thank you all so much for the support. And yeah, I'll see you guys all very shortly. Much love.